How's everybody doing? Luke Goodish back again for another author update and conversation. If you missed the last video I did, which was about my first two novels and how I ended up disliking them, you can check that out here on the channel. But this time I wanted to come on and talk about Noah Redford, the Pulp adventure series I'm releasing bi-weekly on my website. Check the link below if you want to read the first, I believe, 11 chapters at this point. If you want to read those, it'll be all down there. But this has been such a unique and different and fun and challenging writing experience for me. I just wanted to give a little bit of insight on it. So, yes, I release these bi-weekly on Thursdays. Every other week, I release a chapter to you. But what some of you may not know or realize is that I write these things bi-weekly as well. If I were smart, if I were pre-planning, if I were calculated, I would have already had several chapters, if not the whole book, written ahead of time, and then I'd be releasing it. But I'm not that guy. I'm more impulsive than that. So I decided I wanted to do this. I wanted to challenge myself in that. I wanted to do it in the quick pulp release schedule, kind of seeing what it would be like to be one of those real pulp writers who was releasing these for a magazine. So I decided to make that the schedule. I'm going to write it and have it released bi-weekly. But let me just say, I didn't realize how busy my life was and how chaotic it was until I put that schedule on myself. And I found that I ended up writing these, most of them, the day of, or if I'm lucky, the day before they're released. And that's exactly why there's the big disclaimer at the bottom of every chapter saying, hey, this is a first draft. You're kind of watching me write this novel in real time, so apologies for the grammar and the spelling and maybe the plot holes. Because let me tell you, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a forward thinker very much. I'm an impulsive guy. And so when I started writing this, I had a vague idea of what I wanted to do and where I wanted it to go, but I didn't even have an outline. So as I started writing this, I realized I'm stepping into this minefield of plot holes. I'm working through an obstacle course of plot holes. On top of this, I have this unique challenge of wanting each chapter to be a contained action scene that is fun enough to read bi-weekly. Like, it is intense action every chapter. How do you do that, right? But on top of that, I'm making sure that I'm stringing together something that makes sense, something that is coherent. And I'm not here to say I've been successful or not successful. I don't know. Results may vary, and I hope you have been enjoying it. But I just found that fun information to want to share and give you some background information on some behind the scenes of how the Noah Redford Adventures has been going in the chaos of that series. Just know that on those Thursdays, when you're enjoying the story and enjoying the chapter, which I hope that you are, 45 minutes before that, I'm holding my baby in one hand, typing the story up in the other, and hoping to God above that I can get it done on time. But man, it's been an absolute blast. I'm having so much fun with it, and I'm glad that some of you are too. We have conversations about it on Instagram. You can follow me at ls_author, I believe. I don't know. I'll put it below, so if I got it wrong, you can get the real one in the comments below. But yeah, check me out on Instagram because I just did a giveaway of a big survival kit and a early release copy of my third novel, Vipers and Red Rocks, which comes out July 2nd. But also on Instagram, I did a question and answer section about Noah Redford. So I got a few questions from you guys that I want to answer now. First question I got was, will it be released in paperback or hardcover? To answer that question, yes, it will be released in paperback, possibly hardcover. Once it's run its course, the whole story is ended on the website, and then I've had a chance to go through it myself a few times, gone through a few editors, and it goes through the revisal process that every novel should go through. Once it's been ready, like solidified in that manner, it will be released to read all in one go as a paperback novel. Now, to drop some exclusive information here and now, I want to say that there will be a surprise release following that one of a second Noah Redford story. This is actually the first Noah Redford I ever wrote. It's called Fire in the Tall Grass. So that one will be having a surprise release, leapfrogging on the paperback release of Fire on the Water. Next question was if there's any modern content that reminds me of Noah Redford. And I hope I'm understanding the question correctly. I want to answer it correctly. If not, hit me up on Instagram and we'll talk about it in DMs. But there's a few things that came to mind. Obviously, The Mummy, Indiana Jones, these types of stories are heavily influential, and they're more modern than something like a Doc Savage, right? But the most modern influence on this story has been um, the character Spencer Dutton from Yellowstone 1923. That guy was so cool. He was a real pulp adventure hero taken and put into the Yellowstone universe, and I loved him since the second he was on screen. I was like, this guy is my favorite Dutton. This character is awesome. So he is a giant influence on the character of Noah Redford. So that is my answer. The next question was asking about how I switched up my style when writing the action scenes. I'm assuming this refers to the fact that my first two novels have extraordinarily graphic violence and like they're super adult in their content, and this is supposed to be more so uh, an accessible read to younger audiences. Like a young man should be able to pick this up and read it, I hope, and get some inspiration from it. So I had to tone down the violence a lot. And that is, I guess, in a nutshell, and the short answer is I toned it down. I turned it PG-13 in my head, and I censored myself from really going into those nitty-gritty details that were in Frozen Wrath and Retaliation Mountain. Next question was, is Dr. Stroud related to Les Stroud? No, no relation. But I did look up Les Stroud. He looks pretty cool. He's like a survivalist or something. I hadn't known about him. That's very cool. I like him. Next, I had some people asking me about his name, Noah Redford, if that was an homage to anybody in pulp fiction. And no, it's not, but there are people referenced in there. Noah, embarrassingly, comes from The Notebook, right? Ryan Gosling's character in The Notebook. I'm being dead serious because I wanted Noah Redford to have Rebecca Redford, his wife. I wanted him to have a wife character, not like James Bond, where he has a new girl each time. I wanted him to be a good role model. So I wanted him to have a solid, stable relationship. I wanted him to be kind of a romantic guy. So Noah from The Notebook is where he gets the Noah. And Redford is from Robert Redford, one of my absolute favorite actors. I think the man's a legend. And if Noah Redford were to be played by anybody, I would want it to be like a 1970s, 1980s Robert Redford, right? So the name is probably sillier and more embarrassing than you thought, but that is where it comes from. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for following me on this author journey and continuing to stick with me through the ups and downs. Vipers and Red Rocks, the newest novel, comes out July 2nd. You can pre-order below, and I would really appreciate if you did because I put a lot of heart and effort into this one. It's my blood-soaked love letter to the classic Western, and I wanted to share this. If you've been following me on Instagram, you saw it already, but Brian Panowich, like one of my literary heroes, gave me a blurb for Vipers and Red Rocks, and I'm just so grateful for that. I have no words, and I thank you, Brian, from the bottom of my heart for giving the book time, like giving your time to read this thing, and then giving me the nice, kind words to put up about it. That is fantastic. So thank you, sir. And that is it, guys. I will see you in the next one.